Hi, I'm Samantha, Creative Director at Dance Parent 101, and these are my beautiful children. 3 of them. I do have one more, but he's a little bit little to help us out with this challenge today. And the challenge is, when I went to first make these bars, I went to the hardware store and I went down the plumbing aisle and I was like, there are different fittings. So Xavier, can you give me an elbow over there? And Celine, can you give me an elbow from that pile? Okay, so these are 2 totally different fittings and they fit on totally different pipe. You can't interchange and use them. I cannot use them on that pipe and I cannot use these on that pipe because the pipe that is used for these types of fittings is wider and that one is obviously thinner. So these fittings that I've got over here are 32 mil or 1 1/4 inch, and the ones that I'm using on the other side are 1 1/2 inch or 40 mil. And they're almost like, they almost have the same sort of diameter. Actually, these ones do feel as though they're even bigger, and these are supposed to be 40 mil. Now, the other main difference with these parts is that these ones are 90-degree angles. So they're a nice flush angle and they're going to give you all your right angles, I guess. Whereas these ones have an 88-degree angle, and the reason that they have an 88-degree angle is because they're used for plumbing and drainage in your house so that all the water flows downwards, whereas these ones are used more for if you've got a hot tub or irrigation and all different sort of projects around the house. So that's the difference. Now, when I was at the hardware store, the guy recommended I use these, but they didn't have enough parts at the time, so I just grabbed a whole heap of those. And then after I thought about it, I went, well, let me try and see if I can get more of these parts, and I'll build 2 bars and see using which parts is better. So that's where we are today. And we're doing a challenge. We're making exactly the same bar. So these guys here are using the drainage pipe, whereas we are using what we call here in Australia the pressure pipe, using the exact same instructions. Up here, all the lengths are the same on both sides. If you do want a full tutorial on how to make this bar and why I chose these lengths, you can have a look through our playlist. I'll have a card up here at the moment as well with a video on the full directions on how to make the bar. But for right now, let's have this challenge. Let's see who's going to get it up first, and then we'll see if there's any kind of differences. Okay. Are we ready?
Yes.
On your mark, get set, go!
Hey, you said go before. You didn't even say go.
Oh,
You cheated.
oh, apparently we cheated. We've got to do it again. Okay, we're going to do it. Ours is falling apart. Okay. Best of 3 maybe. Okay, pulling it apart. Okay, you say on your mark, get set, then go.
On your marks. Get set, go. No. Wait, is this a 10? Yes. Are you sure this is a 10? No, that's an 8. What's next? Mom. We're already up to our 26s.
Oh well.
I'll just get my 26. Let's get our 61.
Hold it. Hold it, you would have thought thought you'd learned from last time. I don't know whether you guys have pushed the pieces in further enough.
I don't know either, but
Okay.
I just have to go with it.
Okay, Celine.
We need that ice. I'll put the ice in. Put it in. We need to put this in there.
Bring it over this side a bit closer to the middle. It's okay, we won last time. Okay, bye. Thanks so much. Oh, that was so much fun having that little bit of a challenge. Made it much easier to get these both bars up so now I can compare them. First thing I noticed immediately is that our pipe made with the drainage, our bar made with the drainage pipes is slightly taller, and I used exactly the same measurements. 8-inch, 26-inch. I'll just do a quick check to make sure my kids, yep, it's the 8-inch piece. They might have, sometimes I've seen them swap the 10 and the 8 around if they're not concentrating. So that is right, and I've got a measuring tape just about, oh, is it 1.5 inch? Maybe I need a level as well to work that out. 1.25, but it does have that little bit there. So if I take that quarter off for that little bit there, it's about 1 inch different. And the total height of this bar is 41 inches. So that's going to make this bar 42 inches. So if I was making a bar with, and I wanted it to be that little bit lower, I might take 1 inch off this measurement here and bring that down to 25 inches. So that's the first thing I will do. Second thing is that I'm even looking at the legs. The legs are longer on both sides, and I don't think that's a big issue, but if you wanted to, you could also reduce this measurement. And I think it has to do with that the pipe is only getting so far in, whereas the pipe is getting a lot further in on the pressure pipe connections and is being pushed down further into the connections. One thing that I do think is good about that is that this bar is slightly sturdier than this bar. Does feel a bit more wobbly. Now let's have a look and see if I think there's anything going on, because it's got 88-degree angles to be worried about. Okay, first thing I've noticed is that the kids have put these two in different ways. And what I mean by that is that if you had water running down a pipe here, it would go down, but this pipe is angled up. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this fitting around so it's exactly the same as that one. Just means that we'll get a cleaner look. So if you are using the drainage pipe, make sure all your fittings are on exactly the same. This side and this side are mirroring each other, so that's good. It's just this part and this part, I've got to turn it upside down so it's exactly the same. And try and do that without the bar falling over. So I'm picking it up, flipping it over. When it is that way, that angle, 88-degree angle, is actually angled on a diagonal up. When it's this way, it's actually angled downwards, and that is the same as that pipe over there. Other thing that I have noticed is that this bar, when I look at it this way, is leaning slightly towards me. Only ever slightly, and that is because this T is on that 88-degree angle. So it's slightly going this way, which means your bar is slightly going to be like that. But is it unusable? No. Would I say if this is all you can buy, don't bother about it? No, I'd say if you can only get these sort of parts, go ahead and buy them. I did find that the pipe especially was cheaper. That might be a factor for you. When I bought the parts online, I didn't find there was much of a difference for the fittings, especially because this is the 32 mil or the 1 1/4 inch. The prices were comparable for the two for the fittings, but when it came to the pipe, this pipe was more expensive. The pressure pipe was more expensive than the drainage pipe. So that might factor in to which type of pipe you're going to buy. So getting down to it, if this is all you can get it. But at the end of the day, I would be going for your 90-degree angles just to get a sturdier bar. I do feel that this one is sturdier just from holding it and standing here. Since making these bars, we've painted them and we've secured all the fittings. With the 90-degree pressure pipe ballet bar, we painted that bright blue and we fixed all the fittings with plumber's cement, making it really nice and stable, and we love using it at home. For the other bar made with the drainage pipe, we painted that bright pink and we used screws instead of plumber's cement to secure all the fittings. And like I said in the original video, it isn't as sturdy because of those 88-degree angles, but I'm going to stick by what I said, and if this is the only fittings and pipe you can get, or you want a slightly cheaper version, it will be fine for you to use. And the biggest difference is just that 1 inch in height that you do get. If you liked watching the challenge and you enjoyed seeing the comparison of the two materials here, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Also go through the playlist. As I said earlier, I've got the instructions on how to make this bar, as well as metal bars, as well as bars with wood in them, a whole heap of different bars for you to make. I also show you how I decided on the perfect height for the bar. And until next time, I'll see you. Happy bar making. Hi, I'm Samantha, Creative Director at Dance Parent 101 and mum to these 3 kids. There is one more kid, but he's a little bit young. Let's try one more time.